Please give it up for Sean Donnelly, everybody.
Yeah. Oh my God, give it up for Charles, everybody. Let him hear it. Yeah. Charles! Give it up for all the comics you saw. This is a blast. I don't know why you're sitting like Burt Reynolds in 1976. But good for you. This is good. We're using a bearskin rug for your hot ass. Look at you sexy beast. You look great. It's a good-looking fucking crowd. I'm intimidated by your annoying white good looks. I look like I just dropped off kegs of beer to this fucking place. Like this is a hobby. Like my truck's outside fucking idling and shit. I'm like, this looks fun. Can you give it a shot? I go home like, honey, I dropped off these bunch of good-looking kids. I some beers. They let me go up for 5 minutes. It was great. What did the black guy say to the Puerto Rican guy? Like that, what I look like I say all the time. I'm trying to say I don't have a fuckable hot look. My wife tells me that all the time, which is kind of fucked up. I don't have it. Like when I was single, I would go to bars and women would tell me I look like I'd be a good dad. They would just say that. It's like, just tell me you don't want to fuck me, okay? Don't put an imaginary family in the middle of this. That's a lot of pressure. I just came to get drinks. Now there's bills and shit involved. Responsibility. I can't do that. No, dude. You can't walk up to a woman at a bar and be like, you look like you'd be a good mom. Look at you. You got mom hips. Check out those hips. Not you. The woman in the story in my head. It's crazy. I'm not trying to be gross, but I've never had a compliment said about my penis during sex ever in my life. I know Burt Reynolds has. I'll tell you right now. Look at you, Burt. There's no way you haven't had that happen to you. I've never. The only thing to come close. I was having sex with this woman once, and she told me my penis is very warm. That's what she said. And I was like, warm how? What do you mean by warm? Like a Hallmark card or Morgan Freeman's voice? What do you mean by warm? By warm, do you mean big? No? Okay, just checking. That's the thing. This is cool. When you get married, it doesn't even fucking matter. When you get married, sex slows down when you get married. I know none of you know, nobody's married in here, right? This is all a big, giant, bearded orgy, isn't it? They're all gonna touch each other's dicks after the fucking show. This is gonna be the hottest fucking orgy I've ever seen in my life. Charles on top, just getting his dicks up. I'm becoming creepy with everything that I'm saying. This is the thing, it does. That's sex, it slows down. It's a cliche thing to say, but it's true. And I wouldn't care as much, but my wife is awful at giving me excuses of why she can't have sex. Like the other day I wanted to have sex, and my wife goes like this. She goes, I can't, I have to wake up early tomorrow. That's what she said. That's a terrible excuse. 6 minutes? You can't spare 6 minutes for this? What about this body makes you think you're waking up at noon tomorrow after we're done having sex? This isn't a fuck you all night, wake up late tomorrow kind of sex body. This isn't good sex. This is pale, fat, Irish, depressing sex. This isn't strawberries and ice cream and chocolate sauce sex. This is blood pudding sex. This is not 50 Shades of Grey sex. This is Angela's Ashes sex. This is not good sex. The only way that you're waking up late tomorrow after we have sex is if we have sex and then we watch all of the Godfather movies. No, that's happening. There's got to be more activities in that night to fill up the night. It can't just be sex. What do you think I am, Vin Diesel? That's the peak of manliness in my head, Vin Diesel. That's my go-to for manliness. I want to be like Vin Diesel. When we first started dating, my wife, when she was a kid, had a crush on Vin Diesel. And then she married me 20 years later. Sucks for her, huh? She thought that was Vin Diesel. People ask us if we're going to have kids. Is he going to have... I'm like, I don't know. Well, I owe my bank $200, so I think we're going to wait. We're going to do have a kid and just hand it to the bank? Is that what's going to happen? So we're like, all right, here we go. Does that get anything off my interest rate? Does that help me out? How much you give me for the kid? $50? I don't know if we're going to have kids. I'll tell you one thing. If we do have kids, I'm not dressing those kids cool, I'll tell you right now. When I was a kid, I had to wear embarrassing fucking clothes as a kid. When I was a kid, I had a shirt that just had my name embroidered on it, big Sean, like this. Just right for the kidnapping. What's your name, Sean? Yeah, I'm Sean. I'll go with you, I'm Sean. How'd you get that? How'd you get that? I had a matching belt. I had a belt that had my name on it. You ever been beaten with a belt that has your name on it? By a kid that's roughly your size? It's embarrassing. Who am I kidding? I'm gonna put my kids in Old Navy. That's what I love Old Navy. I love it. That's my favorite fucking thing is Old Navy. You wanna be a big shot? Go take $100 to Old Navy. You ever walk into Old Navy with $100? You become the mayor of Old Navy with $100. You get a top hat, a cigar, you're throwing t-shirts everywhere. You get 400 t-shirts for 17 cents. It's exciting. I went crazy on graphic tees. I bought 40 fucking graphic tees from Old Navy. I bought a Run DMC shirt from Old Navy. That's the most un-Run DMC thing you can do. You lose a lot of street cred doing that. Old Navy doesn't give a shit, man. I walked into Old Navy the other day. They had a sale. It was just called fuck it, take it, whatever you want. Go ahead. Who's watching? It's Old Navy. Who gives a shit? You can't tell who works here. Everybody wears Old Navy. Old Navy, you'll leave this at your friend's house. Old Navy, you'll definitely wear this shit to bed. Old Navy. Old Navy, why do we buy so many 4th of July t-shirts each year? Old Navy, how many St. Patrick's Day t-shirts do you need? Just a guy in the back like, fucking order more! Do it! I love these holidays! It's crazy to me. Crazy. I live over here. I live on Humboldt and Jackson. That's where I live. Come to my house sometime. We'll have fun. We'll fuck. Good-looking people. We'll fuck. We'll do a little fucking fuck. That's how I know you can't, I don't get laid. Because I go, we'll do a little fucky fuck. That's what you do. Surefire way not to get laid. Want to do a little fucky fuck? How about this? I'm becoming corny. I'm doing corny dad things. I actually did this the other day. I'm walking. There's a guy who's like an artist that lives around the block from me. And I walk by and he always has like a bunch of artists outside. And I always want to be cool with them. And I did, and there was a bunch of them outside hanging out, and they're talking about art, whatever the fuck, Banksy or whatever the fuck they're talking about. And I literally, this happened to me 3 days ago, and I walk by, and I see them outside this guy's garage, like his studio, and I walk by and I go, hey, you got a whole crew here, huh? You got a whole crew in there? Huh? He couldn't have been more disgusted. They're like, yeah, fuck you. I like this neighborhood a lot. Like, my block is kind of scary, though. Like, everybody in my block has a limp, which I can't really figure out what's going on there. And apparently there's some guy who lives on my street named Shorty, because every morning at 5 a.m. I hear this. Hey, Shorty! Hey, Shorty! Hey, Shorty! Hey, Shorty! It's like a ghetto rooster. I'm really not into a fan. We have bodegas right near me, right? We know what bodegas are because we live in New York. Nobody else in the world knows what that is. I don't even think they have bodegas in Mexico. I don't even think they have them there. You can tell them, they're like, bodega? I have no idea what you're talking about. If you don't know what a bodega is, I'll tell you, I had to do a show outside New York and describe what it was. What it is this. You take everything you have in a Walmart, and you just cram it to 1/14 the space. Then you just play reggaeton music in the background. Then you have like cats and shit walking on the bread. Then you sell weird items behind the counter, like alpaca meat and shit like that. Like, yeah, let me get a quarter pound of alpaca meat. You have 1 cigarette for a quarter? How about that? That's legal, right? You can do that. There's no stamps involved in that. You just hand me a cigarette, I hand you a quarter. That's totally safe, right? They have so much stuff in bodegas. I've been doing this thing, the bodega impulse shopping. Like, I'll walk into a bodega for like a Snickers, and I'll walk out with like a rubber ball, like 14 Barbra Streisand CDs, and like a month's worth of Goya products that I'm not gonna eat. I'm just gonna hang them on a wall like a Puerto Rican Andy Warhol painting in the middle of my apartment. Stare at them like, yeah, that's nice, that's good. It's art right there, that's what that is. It's good. I love this neighborhood. I go to the Thug Barbershop to get my haircut. The Thug Barbershop's the only place you go to get your haircut. And right after he's done, the guy who just cut your hair makes fun of the haircut that he just gave. I was there the other day, the guy cuts my hair, he looks at me afterwards, he goes, oh shit. You look like Bobby from King of the Hill and shit. I'm like, you just did that! That was you! Do you know how professional this is? You can't run a business that way. Like if you go to like a regular barbershop, like a white guy well I shouldn't have called a white guy barbershop a regular barber. You know, like regular people, like white people, like real regular people. If you go to a white guy barbershop, they just have like their licenses next to their stations. If you go to a thug barbershop, it's just like Polaroids of them, like leaning against BMWs and shit like that. Like, yeah, what? Haircut, son. Shampoo. People get mad when I say thug barbershop, and they're like, dude, don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy, just say black barbershop, just say it. And I'm like, no. There was no black people in this barbershop. There was Irish and Puerto Rican thugs in this barbershop. That's exactly true, that's a true statement. Have you ever seen an Irish thug? It's like seeing a freckled unicorn, it's fucked up. You can't be a tough Irish person, you can't be tough if the sun can kick your ass, you can't do that. Irish people, we lost the genetic lottery. We don't grow old, we grow in. That's what, we just shrink. We shrink down to a little old leprechaun. That's basically what happens. I'm related to like 30 leprechauns. Irish people. I realized this the other day. You don't know how much you pee. My voice cracked on that. You don't know how much you pee until you pee into something that's not a toilet. You ever done that before? You ever been stuck in traffic? You're like, there's no way I'll fill up this Gatorade bottle. That's not going to happen. 3 seconds in, you're like, there's going to be an emergency in the back of your car every second. And guys, what guys can do, we can stop peeing. We can reverse the stream. Can girls do that? You can't. So you say no. Some girls can. Can you? You can't. It must be a hot chick thing or something like that. Guys can do it, but it takes like 3 years off our life if we do it. That's what happens. Guys can do it, but it's the same pain that Wesley went through in The Princess Bride when they put him on that machine. You know what I'm talking about? I mentioned, when I was growing up, my dad was a jail guard at Rikers Island Prison. It's a badass job. Right? It's pretty fucked up. It's a pretty crazy job. And I was like 15 years old one time, and I was going to our junk drawer. Did everybody have a junk drawer growing up? Yeah, you had a junk drawer. Everybody on the planet has a junk drawer. I haven't met one person who hasn't had a junk drawer. I think homeless people have junk drawers. They're just one of their pockets has all their junk in it. That's basically what it is. Everybody, you could ask anybody, they have a fucking junk drawer. And like you could always tell how rich a family was by like what was in their junk drawer. Like if you came to our house, we weren't rich. So in our junk drawer, it was like little green army men, like scissors with an orange handle, and like batteries. That was our junk drawer. You went to my friend Opie's house, he was rich. His junk drawer was like $100 bills, like keys to a Jaguar, and like a Toblerone. Like it was a much different junk drawer. It was a much fancier junk drawer. But I was like in our junk drawer when I was like 15, and I found this little device and I had a hook that was very sharp. So I took it to my dad and I go, Dad, what is this? And he goes, do you really want to know what that is? First off, that's a red flag right there, okay? Don't never be a parent asking that question. I don't know, you're the parent. Do you want me to really know what it is? How about that? Do some fucking parenting. So I'm like, yes, definitely. What is it? And he goes, it's for cutting down inmates in their cell when they hang themselves. It's fucked up, right? What the fuck was it doing in the junk drawer? He was like, yeah, this will make sense to my wife and my kids. I just put that there. I'm bringing this home for no reason whatsoever. I might need it later. My son has gothic tendencies. He might hang himself. It got depressing there at the end, didn't it? She was so, you all right? He goes, oh yeah. That was a cool voice. I like your voice. I have a nervous mom. Anybody else? To this day, my mom will answer the phone. She'll go, what's the matter? And then she just like does that. What's the matter? And nothing's ever the matter. But what if something was the matter? What's she gonna do? She's almost 70 years old. There's no scenario where she's like, what's the matter? I'm like, Ma, we're in a bank. It's being robbed. Come help, quick. She's like, I'll be right there. She flies down, beats a bunch of guys up, and gets his ass. That's not happening. She's a senior citizen. This is how that situation goes down. What's the matter? Mom, we're at a bank. It's being robbed. Come help, quick. Do I take the BQE? Is it by the Wendy's? Do I make a right at the Wendy's? Should I bring my friend Kate? She's got a GPS. Another thing I realized is if I'm on the phone with my mom and my mom knows the name of somebody I went to high school with, chances are something horrible happened to that person I went to high school with. A bunch of you know what I'm talking about. I'll give you an example. I'm on the phone with my mom the other day, and she goes like this. She goes, did you know a guy in high school named Rich Harper? I'm like, well, I guess Rich Harper's fucked. That's what's happening there. It's never good. It's never a good thing. It's never like he won the lottery and moved to Hawaii with his family. It's like, what happened to Rich Harper? It's like, he got pulled apart. Piece by piece, by seagulls on the beach. And no seagulls could do that. I'm gonna leave soon, but I wanted to tell you. I don't know about you guys. This is a young crowd. We got everybody here. Like, get rid of your cable. Did you get rid of your cable?
Yeah.
Most of us, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people get rid of. We got rid of our cable. All we do is Hulu and Netflix, and I love Netflix. I love it. I like when they suggest movie categories to you, right? Well, but if you like this, you might like that. You might like teen comedies. You might like buddy movies, right? You don't know. You might like Tyler Perry movies. You have no idea. The other day they suggested a category to me. It was called road trip movies. Top of the list, natural born killers. That was a real suggestion they did. They're like, if you liked Marley and Me, you'll love Reservoir Dogs. All I do on my Netflix, and it's coming back. Murder, She Wrote is coming back. That's all I do. I watch Murder, She Wrote. I love that show. Do you like that show? I love that show. I was watching an episode of Murder, She Wrote the other day, and in the episode, Jessica Fletcher travels to New York, and she finds out that one of her former students from Cabot Cove, Maine, moved to New York, became a prostitute, and got murdered. And I'm watching this alone in my apartment, and out loud I said this, I go, oh, that's terrible. Poor Jessica. Then I put on a shawl and I drank some tea. All right, thank you, bye.